Hello and welcome to one of our many program tutorials. Today I'll talk you through getting started with programming ASM applications and what shellcode primarily is. Let's start by explaining what ASM is. An assembly programming language is a low-level programming language for computers, be it a mobile device, a microwave, or a personal computer. Every single programmed piece of technology on the planet contains somewhat a large quantity of machine code instruction, which obviously instructs the piece of technology to do certain things. Machine code is eventually compiled into an executable file by a compiler, although other information sources would rather refer to these as an assembler. Although if you're just starting, the two objects contain the exact same characteristics. Low-level languages have been used for over 60 years, in contrast to high-level programming languages which have been around only 10 to 20 years. If you understand the previous statements, let's continue. Otherwise, listen to that part again until you fully understand it. Now on to shellcode. Shellcode is a small piece of code rarely used in the programming world, known to more hackers than the average programmer. Shellcode can be used. Sorry about that. Shellcode Shellcode can be used to take advantage of exploits, hereby being called payload. Exploits, payloads, and vulnerabilities are separate things. A vulnerability is a flaw in a machine's app or application's programming. An exploit is a piece of code that someone has discovered that can take advantage of the vulnerability at hand. A payload is a packet which is injected into the exploit, then given the attacker control of the machine she or he has compromised. Shellcode isn't always used for bad intentions. Local shellcode. Local shellcode is where an attacker has limited permissions to a machine, but can identify and exploit a possible vulnerability, and if this exploit succeeds, the attacker's permission is raised to a higher level, allowing she or he to apply more damage to the machine. Remote shellcode. Remote shellcode is where the attacker doesn't have local and direct access to the machine she or he is attempting to access, and instead uses an internet connection or an intranet to accomplish the goal she or he is trying to achieve. These type of attacks usually take place through get and post packets being distributed back and forth. These packets are malicious and contain code that spawns a shell on an attacker's victim. These are just requirements that you will need to learn how to program ASM. First one is a C++ IDE. I recommend code blocks, but other IDEs are available like Visual C++ and Dev C++. You will need a Linux operating system or a Linux virtual machine, either will work fine. You will need the GNOME compiler, and you can do that via this command. This command, I'm not sure where the software package is if you want to install it, but you can just Google it and I'm sure you'll find it. ASM, I think it's pronounced, I'm not sure. That is the command you can use to install it. objdump. I'm not sure if this is pre-installed on Linux operating systems. If not, you can just Google it. And ARWIN. I'll put a link for this in the description if you want the source code for it. That's all for now. In part 2 we'll go through how to set up FASM and how to make our first program.